Yeah, so a couple of you might want to say something, like let me just call random people. You just say your name and then your institution, your university, and your level. Yeah, Dada Michael, are you there? Can you just mute and then just say hi? Are you there? Who else is there? James, is James there? Charles, Harry, is anyone there? Okay, yeah, I can see your hand.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so welcome, guys. Welcome to this evening session. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
quickly,
Charles is here.
yeah, what you say?
Yes, he is. Charles is here.
Oh, Charles, welcome. Yeah, welcome everyone. So quickly, let me just introduce our speaker for the day. Yeah, and then we just get started. We do not intend to take much time to this session. Yeah, so today we know that we are hearing talks or um, info session on UI UX. So quickly, our speaker is Peter Olugbenga, who is a UI UX designer who loves creating human-centered products, experiences that decipher powerful technologies. He has 8 years experience in the design field, 5 years of graphics designer, and 3 years and counting as a UI UX designer. He has been able to design products that cuts across all areas of human needs, from educational products to fintech products, online resources, that is, online libraries, and so on. He currently works with a tech company that owns an ERP software for schools. Yeah, that's who our speaker is. You can see our speaker is quite loaded. He's someone with very vast experience. So, um, quickly, 5 p.m. on the dot, our speaker will be coming on board, who is Peter Lubinga, be giving us a very um, detailed info on UI UX. How do we get into that space if you want to become UI UX designer? Yeah. So, Peter Olugbenga, yeah, you have the floor, please.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Sure,
yes, we can
certainly.
hear you.
Yes, yes, I
Okay,
can.
good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Like Isaac have rightly said, my name is Peter Olugbenga and I'm a UX UI designer. So everything he said is correct, basically. So let's just dive right in. So I will not take much of our time because we'll be doing some, explanation. We'll be more detailed when it comes to, when it comes to UI UX design. You need to be very detailed about your stuff. So let's dive in. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen right now. Can anyone see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, thanks to screen. Hold on for a minute. I have to grant it permission. Okay, so you guys will have to give me some minutes to join back because of this permission thing. So just spare me like 2 minutes. Let me join back. Sorry.
Right, no problem, sir. We'll be waiting.
Okay, I'm back. So that was very fast. Let me share my screen now. So just go straight to the point. So can anyone see my screen right now? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
see, sir.
I'll be sharing my presentation right away. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about. Can you still see my screen? Okay, UI UX designer. Sorry, UI UX design. Okay, so let's just go straight to the point. We won't do too much of talking. We'll do much of talking, but we won't waste too much time. Okay, so let's talk about UX UI design. So this is this is what we're going to go through for today for the few minutes we have. So let's start. So basically, what is design? Let's start with that first. Design basically. Design is basically a plan or a drawing produced to show the look or function of a working of a building, garment, or other objects it's made from. Okay, so that's just a definition. Let me now put it in my own form. Okay, so design basically is, something is a plan. Let's use that word plan that is being, constructed or built up to solve a problem, to pass a message across. And, those two major things, that's what I feel design is all about. Because let's take an example now. If an architect come up with a design, fine, the architect came up with that design, to solve the client's problem. Like, for example, I'm a client now. I have this also plot of land, and I'm looking for a structure I can build on this. The architect will come up with a design for me. The architect is basically solving a problem for me. I'm not going through any stress. You get? So that's design for you. Design shows you what you are going to see in a prototype or what you are going to see in real life. Let's put it that way. So we have various types of designs: graphics, user experience design, user interface design, interaction design, engineering design. For our engineering brothers like Isaac, he knows what I'm talking about, motion design, and so on. Yeah. So let's just move straight to the point. Can you all see my screen? If you guys can see my screen, please let me know.
I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen?
Yes, I can't. It's just blank.
Blank?
Yeah, that's true. Can you stop sharing and you probably will share?
All right, let me stop sharing.
Yeah, it's better now. Oh, it stopped again.
I'm coming.
All right.
So, share. How about now?
Yeah. So
I can see the screen on there. I can.
How about now? Can you still see it?
Yes, I can see the screen. Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Sure,
so like I said, with design, I explained that. I'm sure you all got that rather. So what is UX/UI design? Yes, UX design in short form is basically UX, user experience design. It's the beginning of a design cycle. It is where your mission basically is trying to understand in details the problem you are going to solve or the problem you are trying to solve. That's UI, and that's UX design. Okay, before I move further, I need to explain this. UX is different from UI. They are two different things, and they work together, but they can also work on their own. User interface design basically is designing visual interfaces for machines, software, using interactive elements that are memorable and meaningful across all platforms. So when you are talking about UI design, you're talking about, something a user can interact with. I can interact with this. I can do this. When I go through this following step, it helps me solve my problems. And while going through these steps, rather, I should not be stressed. I should not be, overwhelmed with too much information. I should not know my cognitive concentration, my cognitive sense should be just there. I should not be there should not be too much things I'm trying to process at the same time. That's where the user UI designer comes in and makes stuff very, very easy with designs, with elements and with pictures and stuff like that. So like I said earlier, UX is different from UI. And I said they work together and they can work on their own. Get in a product cycle, first person that needs to attend to, that you as a client that you're going to approach first is the UX designer. The UX designer You explain your whole idea to the guy, tell him I want this, I want this, I want this to be able to do this, I want this system to be able to do this, I want to, I want users to be very, very happy using my products. I don't want them to be too overwhelmed with too much information. So the UX designer will gather those information, break them down, simplify it by doing what? Doing research, throwing surveys for users, going online, looking at what other user experience designers have done. You cannot, you don't know it all as a UX designer. How will I put this? There's a way we do it. We make use of other people's work, not not word for word, we're not plagiarizing, but we're getting ideas and we're improving on those ideas. That's what we do as UX designer. So basically, a UX designer will do all these things, simplify them, and come up with wireframes. After he has done all their research, done all things necessary to be done, we just build up, come up with a user wireframe, a low fidelity wireframe. That's basically probably a black and white or a white and gray, but it has to be a wireframe that you can prototype and you can test. So as a UX designer, you really need to know how to use some software also. Before I finish the whole explanation, let's move to the next slide. So I was saying the responsibilities of both are very straightforward. Are quite straightforward. They are not tricky. It's something that you as a fresher or as a new person moving into tech or moving into UI UX, it's very straightforward for you. You don't need to go extra mile, but you need to spend time. You need to do your research. You need to read. You need to practice. You need to come up with design, come up with ideas and stuff like that. So responsibilities of a user experience designer, they do research, competitive research. They do user research. What do I mean by competitive and user research? Competitive research basically they do research pertaining to, okay, do we have a brand it's already doing what we are doing? If yes, okay, are they solving all the problems? That's the research they do. After talking to the clients, getting to understand all this, they go for their research. They do user research by throwing in surveys, like I said earlier. You compose surveys, you share the link. I'm sure some of us might have seen, one or two links that somebody, maybe our friend has said, please let me fill this. Some of them or most of them are basically doing user research. They want to know, they want to understand the users more. You get. So they do user research and they do competitive research. Like I said, they do research on products that are already made, that is close to or is just like what the client wants. They do research deeply. They know if this design they've already made is solving the problem, and they look for the loopholes. What do I mean by loopholes? Where this brand is, where this product basically is falling short, where they are not solving the problem they need to solve, or when they are unable to solve a new problem that arises. So it's the work of the user experience designer to do all this research, and come up with their conclusions. The interview users, they understand their needs. As I said, it's part of the user research. They create product flows. They create flows like, what do I mean by product flows? Wireframe and prototype. The flow, they create that step. Flow is basically like a step. A step for me, for example, to achieve this thing. Okay, I want to go to the toilet. One thing I need to know, I need to do is first, I need to stand up. I need to stand up. If I already know where the toilet is, I just need to stand up and walk. And I go to walk to the toilet. And, next thing I do is lock the door and you make use of the toilet. You get. If I don't know the toilet, if I'm new to the environment, first thing I need to do is I ask. I do. So that's a flow. That's a flow. When your users are trying to, make use of your products, they need to sign up, or if they already have an account, they need to log in. Next thing they need to complete their profile. These are flows. Like I said earlier, they will come up with wireframes, and these wireframes must be in a prototype form, basically, for your clients for testing, because when a user experience data comes up, it's not a finished work. It's a low fidelity wireframe. It's not interactive yet. There are no micro animations, there are no colors, just simple, straightforward, single colors, black and white or gray and white. So they come up with all these things. They create this product flow, they create wireframe, they create prototypes, they coordinate with UI designers. The job of a UX designer basically is, round the clock. What do I mean by round the clock? It's they work with all other, participants in the product cycle. For example, they work with the developers, they work with the UI designers. Sometimes they work with the brand designers too, brand identity designers. They work with, depending on your company, if you have various designers, they work with almost all designers. When you're trying to, come up with a product, you don't just come up with your low wireframe as a UX designer and say, okay, I've done whatever I want to do, I'll just pass it to the UI. No, you need to work with the UI designer. You need to explain some things. You need to let them know why you made this decision, why you did this, why you made it this way. The UI designer needs to, understand your idea, and they need to work in sync. You get. So when they come up, when they coordinate with UI designers and the developers too, in order for this product to come to life. And also they plan information architecture and site maps, and they do tests. They test the usability of this product. As a UI designer, your role basically is very straightforward. You do design research. What do you mean by design research? You can easily go to Behance, look at what people have done, read up on articles, read up on articles about UI design, follow blogs, follow Figma. There are some Figma, for example, now I make use of Adobe X full time. I use Adobe XD, but I also use Figma for projects that are required of Figma. So there's this community for Adobe XD. You can stream live and you can also watch later. So we get to see professional, designers. They do their thing, and we learn from it. No matter what stage you are as a UI designer, you are still learning. In the tech world, you cannot learn it all. No matter what level you are learning is a process. So let's continue. So they implement designs with developer. After the UX designer has passed the wireframes to the UI designer, and the UI designer, like I said, comes up with the color, gives the whole product a feel, give it a welcoming environment, let the user be happy using this product. Like it's so the UI designers just make it life easy, using their elements and their colors, and each design has its own color, and each color has its own mood. What do I mean by that? For every mood, you have a color for it as a UI designer. So I've been for a couple of years, like Isaac said, I've been doing graphic design. So, and graphic design has really helped me a lot when it comes to my UI design part of UI UX design. So I don't really have issues when it comes to coming up with elements, understanding typography, understanding color choices, color choice and mood of colors. So I don't have issues with that. So you get to understand these parts and you implement it in your UI design. It makes life and makes the product well usable for the users. And as a UI designer, you adapt all interfaces across all screens. What do I mean by across all screens? Your mobile phone, your design has to be responsive. You must fit into all sizes of screen, from desktop, iPads, or Android tabs, your iPhone and your Android mobile phones. your user interface must be responsive across all screens. UI designer also, they come up with high fidelity prototypes. They work with branding people too. Like I said, this design field is, like I said earlier, you can work individually and you can work together. There are some situations whereby your product needs everybody on decks doing, sharing ideas together. So they work with brand designers, they work with graphic designers, they come up with color choices, typography, layouts, and they come up with basically all the visual design, like I said earlier. So we'll move to the next stage. So as a UX designer, in summary, as a UX designer, whatever you're working on, whatever products that you're working on must be usable for users, must solve a problem, and must be very accessible for users. What do I mean by all these things I mentioned? Usability, like the word goes, must be very, very easy for users to make use of. And like I said earlier, the goal of a UX designer is to solve a problem. You need to solve a problem with your skill. You're not a UX designer if you cannot solve a problem. You must solve a problem as a UX designer. In this process of solving, you do your research, so many things. Go through your research, understand your user, you must have that user empathy, think like your user, put yourself in their shoes. Like if you were the one, what will you do? If you're the one using this product, are you okay using the product? Are you fine using this product? Do you see it's easy to use? Is this solving your problem? All these things you need to put into account as a UX designer. UX designer, that's the UX, user experience design. And your product must be very accessible. What do I mean by accessible? When you go through our mobile phones, for example, Samsung iPhone, there's this option under settings, accessibility. What is it doing basically? For all types of humans, what do I mean by all types of the human beings with disabilities, and the other ones, like for example, those with disabilities and those are okay. Your products must be able to suit both people, both type of users. They must be able to suit those with disabilities, and must be able to suit those that are without disabilities. So your product must be very, very accessible. When your products are very accessible and they solve problems and they are very usable, you can call yourself a UX designer. Yes, you can call yourself a. But if this your product doesn't meet these three criteria, I'm sorry, you really need to go back, and learn more. So because of this presentation, if you plan on, becoming a UX UI designer, like I'm sure everybody here attending this, they have one or two flares for UX design or UI design. Like I said, you can choose anyone you like. You can do anyone. You can even do both of them. That's when they call you a product designer. Move to the next slide. So in the digital industry, like I said, you can specialize in anything you like, any of those two. It's not a must you do the two. You can notice your strengths and your weakness. If you see your strengths in UX design, why not? You can do UX design. You can be UX experience researcher. You can be a UX writer. So many, opportunities or job roles under just being a UX designer. And also, you can choose to be a UI designer alone. When you just wait for your UX designer, bring in the wireframes, give the wireframes life, bring them to life by giving them colors and feel. You get. As a UI designer, you need to help people with disabilities. And like I said, the product must be accessible. It does not really apply to UX designers only. After you've designed your products and you've passed the wireframe, fine. Your wireframe needs to come to life. The job of a UI designer is to bring the wireframes to life. And in bringing the wireframe to life, definitely you need to consider both types of users. the disabled ones and the ones with visual impairment. I'm sure we know these types of users we're talking about. And so that both parties, all parties, or all different types of humans can make use of your product and have a better online experience. Like I said, UX is not UI. They are not equal. They are two different things. And if you can do the two of them, you're a good product designer. Forget it. They will look for you. If you are good at what you do, when your design speaks for you, they will look for you. No matter where you apply, when they see your works, they just chase after you automatically. So a good choice of image, colors, fonts, can dramatically improve your business. And this is the job of a UI designer. You get, as a UI designer, designing visual. As a UI designer, you are basically designing visual interfaces for software. I don't know, whatever software it is, anything that has an interface, you are designing for it. A remote control, a AC remote control, that has, if you look at AC remote control, you see where options, where you can change the temperature, you can select the mode, can select if you want the AC to swing or not. That display is a UI interface designer that designed it. It's not something that somebody just came up with. User interface designer understand what the user used to or needs to see. They put it there and they design it. It's a work of a UX designer and it's a work of a UI designer. Of a UI designer, So move to the next stage. So in the process of all this, coming up with ideas, solving problems, you need to consider what we call design thinking. And all this design thinking has to do with you considering your users, considering human beings, considering them in your approach to solving the problem. Like the definition goes, said design thinking is basically a human-centered approach to solving a problem. And in this design thinking, there are phases to it. You don't just, okay, fine, I am a UX designer, I just start thinking and come up with my ideas and write that. No. There's phases to all this thing. The number one phase is, empathy. Like I said earlier, understanding and be sensitive to user. Put yourself in the shoes of a user. Like if you were the one operating this product or going through this product, and is this product solving my problem? Am I achieving what I want on this product? I want to order a sneaker online, and I approach the platform. I know I have so many details. I have to go through this. I'm all confused. As a UI UX designer, you need to, put those users in your shoes. You need to design a product that when they just go there and do whatever they want to do. There's no too much details. There's no distraction. There's no. They don't have issues trying to concentrate or trying to achieve their goals while using this product. And you need to really define your users. What do we mean by defining our users? Okay, let me paint a scenario now. So where I work currently, so like I said, I worked on a library resource before. And the library resource was for a particular church, an Anglican church. What will that platform do basically? It's just for Catholic members, church members. Just go there and go look for books they are looking for. You can buy it and you can also read online. And also they have access to all other Anglican libraries all over Nigeria. So that platform basically brings all Anglican libraries together. But you understanding the products fine. But who are these users? Who are these people using this product? Are they adults? Are they teenagers? Are they children? So when designing your product, you need to consider who is using these products. There are some products that a teenager cannot use. Yeah. There's a product that it's just mainly for adults. So product that is for everybody, and there's a product that is for children. So, when you're coming up with your UX, UI design, you need to define your users. You need to say, okay, this product is for all age groups, and when you are be able to identify this, then you start solving their problems. With the same product, you're solving problems for the teenager, solving problems for the children rather, and solving problems for the adults. You define your users, and when you define your users, then you take your next approach, which is what? You ideate. You generate ideas. What is these ideas? How can I make this thing very, very simple and straightforward? How can I make it seamless? For example, I want to try and make an online payment now, and I want to make use of Paystack. And Paystack is now taking me to various pages. Like, I don't understand. I just want to transfer money now. Why should I have to go through this long? So you generate those ideas to solve that problem. Me transferring money or making payments is taking a whole while. It's taking like days. That's a problem the user experience has not solved. You get. So you generate ideas around that, problem. Look for, these ideas. Do your research, like I mentioned earlier. Do your research as a UX designer. You do the research, come up with all these ideas, bring them together. And it's not about just bringing these ideas together, like bringing these ideas in order for them to solve a problem and make sure these ideas are solving problem. The idea to generate innovative ideas, beyond obvious solution. You need to really do your deep thinking and your research. And after this, come up with prototypes. You have various types of prototypes. You have the low fidelity wireframe prototype. We have the high fidelity wireframe prototype. Like I said, as a UX designer, you come up with the low fidelity. You pass it to the UI designer to come up with the high fidelity. And in the process of coming up with this product, we need to test it. We need to see how it is going to work. It's not just designing screens. You cannot, when you design screens, you are just going through screens, but the product, like the prototype, you need to interact with it. You need to design it in order for you, your client, and the user that is testing it for you. They need to interact with that product. It's not just by designing screens. You need to prototype your designs. You need to make them interactive. And let me just do a dummy. For example, I want to transfer 10,000 naira. I just go to the prototype. I sign in. I log in, or I sign up rather. I do transfer. Follow, do a prototype that the user or the client sees that, okay, yes, this is what I want. Is solving this problem. And with that, you test these prototypes. You do user testing. There are various platforms whereby you can, you test your products. You can basically, send your prototypes there, and they test this for you. So that's all about, design thinking. And what skills do you need as a UI UX designer? I intentionally separate these two, roles. I don't get us confused because they are two different things entirely. But, we join them together. You joining it together shows that you're a UI designer and you're a UX designer, and it means you're a product designer. You are doing the two of them together. But for a situation whereby you want to be a UI designer or you want to be a UX designer, you need to understand each role. So as a UX designer, you need to know how to do your user research. You need to have user empathy. You understand your user, put them in your shoes. You must have analytic skills. What do I mean by analytics? I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me sort out that sound that is coming up in my background. I'm coming. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So as a UX designer, can everybody hear me? Hello?
The face they did not.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
yes,
hear you.
our case.
Okay, so as a UX designer, you must have a skill, you must be able to do your user research. It's a skill. You learn all these things. They're all learnable. There are platforms that you can go if you want to be a full-time UX designer. There's this platform I make use of, NN Group. There's a normal group of UX researchers. Just go there. There are a lot of articles I can read them off. You learn. Apply for internships. They teach you all these things. You can do personal learning. The eye of
Sorry,
a person.
can you repeat the name?
Okay, I will do that. Okay, so the name of the platform I mentioned is NN Group of UX researchers, Nelson Norman Group of UX researchers. You can go to this platform. A lot of articles there. You can't read everything. You go through, read them, read of articles. I have a person. I did personal learning when I started designing. I started learning personally myself. Then I, applied for a learning institutes where they enlightened me more, and I continued on my personal learning. So there's no skill you can't learn on your own. You can learn it on your own if you put your mind in it. But in Nigeria, if you tell them yes, you learned it on your own, fine. They will tell you, okay, we know you can do it, but where's an evidence? That's why you see a lot of tech institutes where people go to, they apply, they pay and they get certified for it. Like an evidence that yes, this person is certified. So let's continue. So you need, as a user experience designer, you need to have this user research skill. You have user empathy at mind, analytic skill, interaction design. It's not just about doing research. Like I said, you need to prototype your wireframes. You need to prototype your wireframes. You need to add some interactions to these things. All those interactions, that's what makes, a user find, solution to their problem. Those interactions, they matter a lot. There's some products whereby they are just, you don't see any micro interaction. Just slide in, slide out, slide up, slide down. That product is basically boring. That's a boring product. The users will just be like, what's this? The thing is just like, the slang is, the thing just dry. It's not interactive enough. So as a UX designer, you need to learn interaction design. You need to be able to collaborate. What do I mean by collaborate? You need to be able to work with other UX researchers like you or UX designer like you. You need to share your ideas. That's why we have Behance. Behance is a platform where you see a lot of designers. They share their work there. That's basically a collaboration. Yeah, open orders. That's another example, Dribble. You see a lot of UI designs on Dribble. Just go there. Anything you're looking for, search for it. You must be able to collaborate with your user experience designers like you. You guys must be able to share ideas. It's a skill. There's some work organization. Some people, they don't know how to collaborate. They don't know how to interact with others. They know how to work alone. Like when others are, you need to learn how to be able to collaborate with other user experience designers like you. And you must be able to, come up with a very simplified information architecture. An information architecture is just, like I said, is a basic step. Like it's just like a flow whereby you see all the, steps, all the movements. Okay, for example, I want to sign up. Let me just sign up as the very basic one. I know when I open the app, I just need to input I need to input my username and password. I've logged in. I want to sign up, I need to put my details, my KYC details. Next step, I want to add a card. For example, a fintech app. I want to add a virtual card. Those steps at the information architecture. You see them like a chart like this. You see them as a chart, you just go through them, You must be able to build up that chart. It might be complex. When I was at the early stage of my UX design career, I know how to do UI design fine, but documenting was a challenge for me then. Coming up with my IA, my information architecture, coming up with the flow, I find it stressful. I just like going through. But as a UI UX designer, you must learn that skill. So in the long run, I just, I moved away from UI for a while. I moved to UX. I need to balance things up. It should not be one-sided as a UI UX designer. But if you choose to be a UX designer, fine. Just learn one thing about UX. Be a UI designer, fine. But as a product designer or a UI UX designer, you must have both skills. You get, and you must be able to do wireframing and prototyping. You must be able to communicate, visually with your product. As a UI designer, also, you must be creative when it comes to design skills. You must be able to use technical skills. You must have technical skills also, making use of softwares, Adobe XD, Figma, Sketch, InVision, and the likes. And you must have the industrial knowledge. You must follow trend. What's going on? Are people using glass morphism? Are they using neomorphism? Are they using dark modes? Are they using mostly white light mode rather? You must follow trend. You must follow trend because, like I said when I was introducing, you don't learn it all. It's a process. It's a gradual. As you are getting to that level, you are learning new things. You can't learn tech all. So you must have industrial knowledge. You must follow trend, and you must be able to, give enough attention to details. When it comes to your UI design, it must be detailed. Like, for example, your button used on your dashboard, it must give it the same weight as a button, maybe a payout button. For example, now if you are designing a mobile dashboard and you have a particular section where it shows your recent transactions and you are able to scroll through your users and you want to see more, and normally you should have a view more button. Fine. See that view more button, the size and width must go throughout all screens. You cannot just do, okay, for example, 56 width and 32 height. You now get to the next screen, now is 64 width and 29 height. You are not keeping attention to details. When it comes to your UI design, you must learn how to keep attention to details. Your line must not be longer than each other. This text color must not be brighter than this. Your text must have text hierarchy. There are so many things that you need to pay attention to because it matters a lot to a user. We have different users, and I'm not talking about disabilities now. The type of users that they are not patient. There are type of users that are very patient. There are type of users that are moved by design. They are moved by colors. They are moved by content. We have various types of users. You need to consider all these type of users when you are doing your UI design. And you must have problem-solving skills. It's not about just knowing how to design. Your design must solve a problem. Your design must solve a problem. And also, all these basic skills, you need to really know how to apply yourself. For example, when you're working in an organization whereby you guys work with deadlines, obviously you need to plan yourself. Give yourself time frame. Okay, I need to rest from this time. Not just yourself. When it comes to your design too, you must plan your design. Okay, I want to spend this hour designing this dashboard. I want to spend so days designing this dashboard. I want to spend so days coming up with my design system. All these things you need to put them into consideration. And also you must be able to work with your team. Like I said, there's some people that you don't know how to work with team. when they are working with the team, they are lost. You must have that
Thank you.
skill. Yeah?
Oh, please, we are currently running out of time.
Okay,
Don't
I'll
know
round off
if
now.
you
You must have these planning skills, teamwork skill, communication skill, and you must be able to come up with a design system. All these skills are very necessary for you as a UI designer. So job opportunities, various job opportunities for you. For a UX designer, you can work almost everywhere. It's not just in tech companies that you can work, because user experience does not have to do only with digital products. They do with the physical product also. They do with physical products. You know, in a bank, the user needs they need a good experience. If you've noticed, been to a GT bank, you see them, you put a particular tab as they're going out. They'll ask you, how was your, how was your experience? They want to know how you feel when you come to their bank. They're conducting a user research. They're piling up this data and they're using on how to improve on their user experience. So as a UX designer, you can work anywhere. You're not limited to tech companies. As a UI designer, you can work where there are products that have interfaces, basically. You get, and where there's a product that have user interfaces, you need it there 100%. So you can work in tech companies, you can be a freelancer, you can design it, you can work in a design agency whereby they have a lot of designers. When the company needs, they come and pick, consulting firm, can be a UX designer, you can be a consultant for a company. You can work in startup companies. Of recent in Nigeria, there are a lot of startup companies, they're looking for UX designers, they are looking for UX designers. There are some that will be specific. They'll tell you that we need a UI designer. They've already done their user experience. You just need to come and bring their product to life with your design. And you can work with large corporations also. As a UX designer, you can work anywhere around the world. There are a lot of remote works. Just search for them. You see tons of remote works. You need to put yourself in that right position. How? Learn the necessary skills. Groom yourself. Come up with case studies. Solve problem. Think of something. Do it. In the course of my, learning, when I was still coming up as a UX designer, I was able to attend an internship for a month. So throughout the internship, we were given time frame to come up with ideas. We'll do a collective meeting, and the UX designer is the first person. So I was able to think fast. I think Isaac was in that internship also. I think we were in the same group. So I was able to think fast. I was able to easily come up with. So you need to put yourself in that position. You need to groom yourself. When you groom yourself, just find it very easy. UX is not hard. It's very, very easy. So according to the NN group that I said, they made a research and they were able to find out industries where UX designers can work. And I have a list of them here. You can work in compliance, software, internet. You can go through this. I'll send you guys the slide. So in conclusion, you as the UX UI designer, you are able to work anywhere that has to do with humans. Any product that a human is going to use. For example, I want to come up with my own new idea of air condition. I have to, I will need the UX designer to come and look at this thing. I will need a designer to come up with a design for me. So as a UX UI designer, you can work, anywhere where human beings they exist. As long as they exist there, you are needed there. You get UX design is very fascinating. It's something that you will love doing when you dive in it. And it's highly satisfying as a career path. You will love it. What do I mean by you will love it? I know my role where I'm working is to come up with a UX UI design for a module that I want to add to our software. Or when we have any products I want to build from scratch, I'm there always. It's fun because I get to do so many things. I get to dive in so many areas I'm not limited to just tech. I can do other things as a UI UX designer, yes, because I have a UX skill. Can do other things, can take it to take you UX design will take you so many directions. So I'm sure clearly you guys have an idea of UX designer, UX UI designer, all it entails. There's this popular Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. You get it's best for you to act on it now. Don't say, I will do it, I'll do it. Don't procrastinate. If you want to do it, do it. You get do not hesitate. Do not let it intimidate you. There's nothing in it as long as you learn it. Best time is for you to act now and upskill and launch your dream career next time. With this little details I've been able to share, I'm sure a few of us or everybody have been able to gain something, one or two. And thank you for your time. Thank you for Tech Semesters for having me. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Peter. That was really an insightful session. Okay, yeah, so I believe most of you do have questions for him. You could just go to the platforms and the WhatsApp group you are or Telegram group. You could just drop your questions there because our time is really, really fast spent. So we can't take lots of questions. We have been seeing so many engagements, of course, on the chats and Zoom chat platform. So yeah. Okay, so UI UX, like we've heard from Peter, they're really everywhere, like everywhere. Yeah, UI UX. So before we end this evening session, Peter, like just in conclusion, what word can you say to a beginner, someone who has flair for UI UX? Like I want to go into UI UX tomorrow, next tomorrow. ASU is on strike. I want to pick up UI UX. What would you like to say to me? Like what learning curve would you advise, or what would you just say to me in just one word? I'm sure there are lots of beginners or people who do have flair for UI UX in their house, but they just want to hear that word. Like, so what would you say to a beginner like me who wants to go into UI UX? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, as a beginner, you want to go into UI UX design. Just make the decision. Yes, I want to go into this. Go for it. You will love it. You know, you will really enjoy it because it's even good when you start early as a UI UX designer. You get when you start early, you have more opportunity, to be diversify so many areas. You get so just why not start? Apply for internships, start learning on your own. I always advise people that you want to learn anything, you can teach yourself. Yes, you can. There are lots of resources, YouTube, tutorials. There's Udemy there for you. There's Coursera. Buy these courses. They even certify you for them. Just take that bold step. Use your money. You'll be fine. Look for a guidance that can help you with it. Tell them that yes, I want to do this. Let them show that seriousness. One thing about our guidance and our parents is that when they see that you're really serious about this, okay, they will test you. They will say, oh, yeah, they will give you that money. And there are some that they don't even have any idea about it until you explain it to them. But they'll still like, okay, I'm sorry, I said it to you. Let me just still look at what he wants to do. When you show seriousness and you dedicate your time to it, why not? You do it. It's not hard. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for that answer. So I believe we've picked something from what he said. Just let your mind be fixed on what you want to do. Like this is what you really want to learn. You want to learn UI UX. Let your mind be fixed on it, and then we just go ahead and purchase the course and then start learning it. So yeah. So thank you so much, Peter. But I think there's a part you actually missed out that most people actually would like to hear, which is the salary or money aspect of UI UX. But because our time is fast spent, so maybe some other sessions you could tell us what opportunities are there, like how much do I stand to know? We all know that we like money, like average Nigerian, we want the money part. Like I wouldn't want to go into
That's true.
where I'll be earning 40K at the end of the month. I was thinking you would mention that, but next session or any other session we have on UIX would definitely look into this. So thanks guys for joining in
All
to
right.
this.